So I have found a professor I want to send a cold mail to, and to do that, the first thing will be to go to the professor's Google space. That is his Google Scholar space, and there I would get to know more about the professor, specifically his research work and research area. And so when I get to that space, I want to look at his name again, so I'll collect his name. I see from that space that he's a professor and he has research interest in quantum optics, in quantum information, and quantum technologies. I would go through a number of his works and would take particular interest in one or more work that relates to what I have a research interest for. And so as I go through all of his works carefully, all of his different publications, I get to find one or more that resonates with me. Okay, I have done some work, for example, in QKD, and I've done some work in quantum error correction. And while I'm doing this, I am trying to align my interest with his research work. Okay, I see he has done a number of work in quantum error corrections. And so I'm going to pick one or more of those papers, and when I have done that, remember I've noted his name, I've noted his research interest, and I have picked one or more research works that he has published. With this information, I will now go to draft my cold mail. So this is a prerequisite, a very important prerequisite to drafting a cold mail. So with the information I have gathered from the professor's page, I return to my MS Word document and I want to draft the mail, the cold mail. Now, I want to begin with what are the components of an ideal or a great cold mail, and how do I put them out together. The component of a great cold mail include a title, a salutation, an introduction and purpose of the mail, a research background and interest, a motivation for collaboration, a call to action. And so I want to show you how you can put the information you have gathered from a particular professor of interest into your mail and how to craft that very ideal mail. The first part is the introduction. You want to be sure that your introduction is very captivating. It's something that would want to push someone to read your mail further. Don't forget that when your mail is sent, the preview that appears on the inbox is always the title. And so you want to be sure that the title is catchy. The title will want to propel the professor to open this mail. And so what should be that title? These are some of the titles that would work. Interested in joining your group with research interests in quantum information. Okay, or you could say inquiry about vacancy in your group in with interest in quantum information. Now, must be sure that in your title you mention your interest, because that would be the driving factor of that mail. The next part of your mail is the salutation, where you mention dear professor and the person's name. Since you know the name on Google Scholar, just copy the whole name and put here, and that is just that for the salutation. The next part of your mail is the introduction, and this is where you want to spend some time. There are several ways to introduce yourself, but this is one of the very catchy way. My name is Moses Udoiso. I am a BS graduate of physics with interests in photonics, optical communication, and quantum communication. I am interested in, or I am writing to seek, if you like, or I'm interested in joining your research group as a master's student or PhD student, if you like, PhD student, or you don't put the two of them, mind you, is that you're putting master's student. There's something missing here, so this is your basic introduction. My name is Moses Doiso, that's your name. You're a BS graduate of what, with interest in that. You need to mention your university, from the University of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Very important part of your introduction. So that few lines makes the introductory paragraph. The next paragraph is where you want to state your research background, your research ability. Say, in my undergraduate studies, I had the opportunity of being taught, guided, and mentored in the fields of research in the fields of optical communication. I particularly researched and published, if you have a published paper, published a paper in relativistic effects of light matter interaction in quantum communication system. In this research, I applied relativistic transformation of Lorentz and Doppler shifts to model how they affect quantum information transmission. Now, basically, what you're explaining here, the thing you'll be discussing here, is your previous research and perhaps what you gained out of that research, what you did, how you did it, and some of the conclusion and the lessons you learned, and how these things you learned relate to what you're pursuing. So basically, for this person, he has had a paper publication in this. Now, if you didn't have a paper publication, you can also use your BS project. So you could basically narrate your thesis, the topic, what you gained, what you did, and how that experience has propelled you for the next level. And so this is the paragraph where you explain all of that. The next paragraph is where you explain your motivation for the professor's work. Now, remember that in looking at the professor's Google page, you picked a particular research work. And so I want to go back to that page and copy the title of that work and bring here. It's very important because you must be able to state how your research interest aligns with the research area of the recipient of your mail. And to do that, you must pinpoint one or more research topics. So let's go there to look at that. Okay, so I am now at the motivation for collaboration path, and basically where you want to put there is one of the research topic you pick out. You want to go somewhere there and you paste the research topic. Remember that when you looked at the professor's position, professor's Google space, you needed to find one work. So you pick that work and you want to say, oh, I am particularly drawn to your last focus on quantum information and photonics, and I am eager to contribute to your work on quantum error correction. So you want to go there and put that particular work that you have seen that this professor has multiple work around it. And so I want to take that out, and this is a direct topic of a professor's work. And I'm eager to contribute to quantum correction, contribute to research. You need to put that to research in quantum correction and optical communication. I believe that working under your supervision will provide me ideal environment for all of that and all of that and all of that. And so you're done with that part. The last part is your call to action. Very important. Attached is my academic CV and my transcript. We've mentioned that if you're going to send a cold mail, you must attach your CV and transcript as one document for your perusal. If you would like any other information or I am ready or always ready for a visual meet or provide you any further details via mail. You want to go to closing, and in closing you want to say, I look forward to a reply. I anticipate a reply. I look forward to a reply, even as I am hopeful that you would find my profile adequate for your lab. Warm regards, if you like. Warm regards. Now, in doing this, we want to ensure that you have not gone above 250 words. So a cold mail should be at least between 150 words and 250 words. This is about 220 words, because I'm going to take out all of this part, the title and all of that. So this is about 220 words, and it's an ideal cold mail. So I'll copy this, take to my mail box, click on create a mail, paste this information, and click on send. And that's how you draft a very ideal cold mail that gets to professors and would most likely elicit a reply that would lead to you finding a full funded scholarship. Go learn how to do this for your specific area and for your specific interest. Don't forget to follow me and subscribe to this channel to always find new information on finding and winning graduate school positions.